Welcome back to my channel for another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Tamron 135mm f2.5 lens, which is an Adaptall version 2 lens from Tamron that they actually could adapt to almost any kind of SLR in the day. So let's get on with the video. As you can probably see here, it's a pretty small 135mm lens, and it even has a built-in lens shade. It has a rubberized focus ring that turns pretty smoothly, and it goes down to a bit below 1.2 meters. The aperture ring has very hard stops and clicks loudly, and it goes from f2.5 and down to f32. If we look into it, we can see that it has 8 aperture blades, and they are straight, so you will have octagonal out of focus highlights in your backgrounds. how sharpness is in the studio. Here I've chosen the f2.5 image, and as you can see there's a bit of vignetting, but if we move to f8 we can see that it's getting lighter towards the corners, but then there's a hard vignette coming in, and it gets even worse when we move to f16. Then the vignette is very visible, and f22 even more. So with regard to this, it's actually better at 2.5, although the corners are a bit dark here. But let's look at the sharpness in the center of the frame, but let's do a comparison. So we take this, and we have f2.5 here on the left and f8 on the right. And let's move to the center here. So sharpness is okay on f2.5, but it's better at f8, but it seems like the contrast is lower at f8. That's a bit peculiar, but that's the way it is. Let's move to the corners and see how it looks here. Well, definitely f8 it's much sharper in the corners. f2.5 is fuzzy, and there's no real sharpness here. But let's compare to the f16 instead. Just have to load here. Well, f16 is definitely also much sharper here in the corners. But how does f16 look in the center? Well, here it's a different thing. f2.5 is much better than f16, which is sort of fuzzy and lacking in contrast. And if we move to f32, which is the lowest f-stop on this lens, it's quite unusable. Diffraction is setting very much in, and the image is quite unusable. And if we move to the corners, it's sort of the same story. Well, actually f32 looks sharper here, but yeah, f2.5 is not very good. But stop the lens down just to f2.8 and you'll get better results than this. So wide open, it's decent, but don't stop down to f32. You will lose a lot, and you have this hard vignette in the corners. So what are the strengths of this lens? Well, it is sharp from 2.8 to f11, well, decently sharp at least. And sharpness in natural scenes that you've seen in some of my pictures is decent already from f2.5. And I like the background separation that this lens can give. It has a nice bokeh also, so it's a nice character to it. And the colors are pretty nice from it. And I also like that it's actually pretty small lens and not very heavy either. So those are nice facts about this lens. But there are some downsides to this lens. If you look at it in the studio, at least at f2.5, only the center is okay sharp. The rest of the image is a bit blurry. But in natural scenes, as I said, it's not a big problem, and if you shoot portraits with it, it might be a good character. Then it's more difficult that diffraction set in at f16 already. That means that you can't get a decent background sharpness if you want that. And vignetting is quite pronounced, light fall off at f2.5, and it gets even worse if you stop it down, because then you get this hard unremovable vignette. You can't do anything about it, it's just there. And then contrast is definitely not a strength of this lens. Contrast is okay at f2.5 and f2.8, but as you stop down it gets lower, and that's actually opposite of what it normally would be on a lens. I hope you liked the review of the Tamron 135mm f2.5. I've enjoyed shooting with it for a long time. I've owned this just as long as I've owned the Hasselblad cameras. First of all the X1D Mark II, and then now later on the X2D. And I like shooting with this lens, and I think it's an okay lens even on these high spec cameras. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel so you can get more reviews from my side. So thank you very much for this time, and bye for now.